Things.
Stuff is all over the place.
Things are the things we live for.
Love fades away. And things are forever.
Things are everywhere. They're even in games. They're called items. Objects that help the player interact with the game world. From power-ups to gear, consumables to collectibles, weapons to armors, keys to key items, games just wouldn't be the same without
people, places, and things.
And this time we're gonna look at the dopest of these things, cause I'm Nintendo Dope Man, and these are the dopest items.
Things are forever.
I nearly chose Cloud's Buster Sword, but if I was gonna pick any big-ass blade, it's gonna be this one. But I still went with this one. The Masamune is a reoccurring katana sword in the Final Fantasy series. Known as the most powerful sword in the world, it's actually based on the greatest swordsmith in Japanese history. With additional cameos in Chrono Trigger and Kingdom Hearts, it's always interesting to have anything recur throughout a series, like the Temple of Time.
This is a nail bomb. You gotta be really careful. This thing blows, it shreds anybody standing nearby.
Few things in gaming feel better than tossing an explosive. The Last of Us has a great little arsenal, but my favorite weapon has to be the nail bomb. Shown to you by the unfriendly Bill, this nasty little devil is crafted with blaze and explosives to make a can of shrapnel that will shred anything close enough. In this masterpiece full of action and drama, few things are as satisfying as a perfect lob of this ghetto grenade.
What the hell was that? Yeah,
Lara Croft has laid her pretty little fingers on many items, from ancient artifacts to her signature dual-wielded pistols that I so nearly gave this spot to because they so obviously deserve it, but her most recent and versatile tool is her ice axe from the Survival reboots. Lara's axe has 3 functions: brutal melee weapon, lock-busting crowbar, and scaling cliff sides. Samus gradually gets powered up throughout the course of a Metroid game, but it always culminates in the ultimate weapon, the screw attack, allowing her to endlessly spin and shred anything in her path. How does she not get dizzy? How does she keep her sense of direction? How does she not break every bone in her pretty little body? Well, it seems the first thing that gets screwed is
logic!
Crafted in the foggy history of ancient times, the Keyblade is Sora's main weapon in the fight between light and dark in Kingdom Hearts. They can be wielded only by the Chosen One who is pure of heart, and despite their round, unsharpened edge, they serve as effective swords in combat. They each have their own theme, can be modified with keychains, are natural conduits for casting magic, and can unlock any lock. Which leads me to their main purpose, to open and seal the doors between worlds. The Keyblades are indeed the keys to the kingdom. Like the Masamune, the Franklin Badge is a recurring item in the Earthbound series. In Beginnings, Nintendo gets it after saving Pippi in the cemetery. Its purpose is to reflect the lethal PK beam back at its user. It's even rumored to have been used by Ben Franklin in his lightning experiments, hence its name.
Oh my God, Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
In Earthbound, Paula gives it to Ness while she's imprisoned by the Happy Happy cult, and it reflects any electric attack back at its user. And in Mother 3, and here we go. I can't say anything. Not only because it's a major spoiler, but
it just hurts so damn much!
What would Grand Theft Auto be without an onslaught of weaponry to cause mass carnage? it would probably be Shenmue. They've let us commit endless assaults, batteries, and murders with everything from bats, chain guns, and dildos.
This idea is dildos.
But my constant go-to weapon when playing through my favorite entry is the Tech 9. The middle child of the submachine gun family suffers no recoil, makes a cool little clicky sound when firing.
Clickety-clackety, clickety-clack.
It has pinpoint accuracy, and it can be dual-wielded when mastered at Hitman level. Ah, the map. One of the most useful and prescient features in gaming, and in no genre except maybe open worlds is it more crucial than the Metroidvania. And in no Metroidvania is it more fun and item-like to use than Hollow Knight. Every new area will have a trail of loose papers leading to Cornifer the Cartographer. For a price determined by how much he charted, you can buy a map of the area, which you can continually enhance by buying items from the shop ran by his wife, Iselda. A charm that shows your location, pins that point to benches, merchants, and stations, markers that you can stick anywhere on it, and a quill used to draw in the places Cornifer missed. But you can only work on it from the safety of a bench, which forces you to get lost as you explore. You can zoom in and out of two perspectives in the menu, and even hold the left bumper to superimpose the current area on screen. I love how the knight actually takes it out and still walks around at a slower pace that feels like he's busy reading it. Hollow Knight has many interesting items, but the map is by far the most useful and charming.
I'm the man!
The Personal Information Processor is a device invented by Roboco Industries, standard issue to all Vault-Tec Corporation staff. It's not the sexiest piece of technology, in fact it might rank among the very ugliest, but it's essential for anyone daring to explore the post-apocalyptic worlds of Fallout. Stats, maps, notepads, a flashlight, and a Geiger counter to detect radiation.
Will you stop calling me boy?
But the best feature that makes this depressing, dangerous, decimated world a little better to be in.
Oh, it's just an MP3 player. Holds 40,000 songs.
Yo!
Alright, what am I looking at? This big old yellow banana?
I highly doubt that. Well, I'll be damned. That is a big old yellow banana.
The main collectible in a collectathon isn't really a mechanical item, but it does unlock the worlds to progress the game, and is an item nonetheless. Whether your favorite is Power Stars, Jiggies, Gems, or Timepieces, it really boils down to which game you love most. For me, it's the Golden Banana. 5 for each Kong in all 8 worlds, including the hub, adds to a whopping 200, plus that extra one for Tiny. People's main complaint about the game was too much collecting, but to me it's just more to love. I mean, come on, too much content?
What does that word even mean?
And the best part has to be that voice. Reclaiming DK's horde from the Kremlings one nanner at a time is one of those things that just makes me feel young again.
See you fruits later.
A key design in survival horror is limiting resources to instill a sense of dreadful caution. But more than any weapon or health item, this was best implemented with the ink ribbons of classic Resident Evil. Typewriters act as save points, where the character literally records their progress by writing it down, a narrative trope common to the genre. Not as common, however, is the idea of limited saves. Just like in real life, you can only use a typewriter if you have ink, and ink ribbons come loaded with 3 saves that can be compounded as you gather more, which is good since it occupies an inventory slot. Saving progress is such a fundamental feature in gaming since it was introduced in the original Zelda that it's naturally taken for granted, but when it's gone, the stakes get raised. A lot more rides on surviving. You can't just save after every little thing you do. You gotta spread them out and try to get a lot accomplished between each time you hit the typewriter. However, Horror games famously rank players based on several parameters, including how many times they saved. So the true survivor is the one who can blast through the game in the single night it takes place in without saving even once.
The dual portal device should be around here somewhere.
The Aperture Science handheld portal device is used to create two portals through which matter can teleport. Other than being a marvel of science, fictional or not, this sleek machine that looks like it was invented by Apple is Shell's key to solving the mind-bending, physics-teaching puzzles of the famous, hilarious, awesomest Half-Life spin-off, Portal. The only thing that would have made it better is a more fully featured gravity gun setting and cake.
It's a cake, it's a cake, it's a cake!
They are both critical elements of Silent Hill's signature atmosphere. The flashlight can be turned on and off with the circle button. It illuminates the blinding darkness, but alerts enemies to your position. Another nice touch is being unable to look at the map without it. The radio can be turned on and off in the menu and emits an infamously disturbing wall of static in proximity to a monster, who will end up hearing the sound and is drawn ever closer. The radio static really crawls under your skin, but being confronted by a monster without warning is ironically just as disorienting. Whether one wants to see and hear clearly or stay senselessly safe is up to the player. There's so many reasons why Luigi's Mansion rocks. It's Mario, sorta. There's ghosts, there's treasure, but most of all, it just feels good to play. The Poltergust is one of the most versatile tools in a Mario game, sorta. I love the elemental metals from the original, and then Dark Moon introduced things that the third one would perfect. 3 really nailed down how well the vacuum could be used to interact with the world. Sucking, blowing, flashlight, dark light, plungers to attach and pull, which is also a nice plumber reference, a defensive burst attack, and Gooigi.
Hey! I am the Wisdom Cube.
So much possibility. So much potential.
Yeah?
I don't play Minecraft, but I've been impressed by people who do.
Hey, nice yard!
They create some of the most amazing things, and it all starts with this. A single block. It can be crafted into literally hundreds of different materials, each with their own properties and functions. Simple, iconic, infinitely quantifiable.
Adam. Who's Adam? Well, I've never seen him. Seen who? He's not a who, he's a what.
There is far too much to say about Adam to fit into a spot on a list. Adam is a chemical substance harvested from a sea slug indigenous to the area that Rapture was built on. When injected in a manner most grisly, it can rewrite an organism's genetic code.
This is Adam.
Primarily by natural ability enhancements like health regeneration, and secondarily by supernatural ability enhancements through the use of plasmids and tonics. The population of Rapture quickly became so maniacally addicted that the city was destroyed from within.
Adam's a big, threatening, wild... I mean, granted, you're that.
Adam is an amazing concept in a game because it's the very backbone of BioShock. The game's mechanics, enemies, and plot are all rooted in this single major story element. And the cherry on this very detailed sundae is the name of the similar chemical functioning as the system's mana.
Her name's Eve.
You're kidding. Eve?
What have I got?
Health items. Probably the most common type of item, but in no game are they more critical than Crash Bandicoot. Aku Aku is a wooden tiki mask possessed by the spirit of a witch doctor. Crash obtains one by busting it out of its crate, and it can sacrifice itself for 1 hit. If he collects a second one, it sparkles and takes 2 hits, while a third will grant temporary invincibility and then revert to the sparkly second 2-hit one. Aside from the fact that being an actual character with a backstory shared with an evil twin who turns out to be the real villain of the series, makes it the most interesting life meter in all of gaming. What makes Aku Aku the most useful is the infamous difficulty of the games he's in. Crash Bandicoot is fucking hard, and there is no greater relief than the sound of...
What have I got?
Super Mario Bros. 3 still has the best items in any Mario game, 2D or 3D. The suits are all awesome, but the best and most popular is the Tanuki suit. Tanuki is the Japanese word for raccoons who, according to mythology, use leaves to shapeshift and cause chaos. And that's basically what Mario does. The super leaf is more common, but only gives Mario a tail, ears, and the power of flight. The Tanuki suit is disappointingly rare, but gives Mario the full raccoon suit, the power of flight, as well as the ability to morph into a statue that goes ignored by enemies. It finally made its debut in a 3D Mario game, but it's too bad it wasn't featured as a costume in Odyssey. The thing about Smash Bros. Is that most things in it are from other games. Fighters, stages, and items. So the things that come from it are always pretty noteworthy. And when Brawl introduced the Smash Ball, we felt like we finally got the item we never knew we were waiting for. Some people thought it was cheap and easy, but if it bothers them that much, they can just turn it off. Also, they're wrong. When a Smash Ball appears, every fighter drops what they were doing to chase it down. Whoever lands the breaking hit is imbued with its rainbow aura and the power of a signature move that can greatly alter the course of the fight. With over 80 fighters, there is a huge variety of showstoppers to make the Smash Ball a very dope item.
Gentlemen, look and behold!
Fatal Frame is a survival horror game where you fight ghosts by taking pictures of them with a specialized camera called the Camera Obscura. Dr. Kunihiko Asu invented several prototypes during his lifetime, each one finding their way into an entry of the series. And they don't all look or work the same. They each have different parameters and attributes, lenses and filters, attacks and defenses that can all be leveled up with spirit points gained by stacking combos of different shots. When you lift the camera and go into viewfinder mode, the controls disorientingly alternate, and it's just so damn scary to take first-person snapshots of these spooky ghosts. The essence of the entire series rests upon the concept of the Camera Obscura, and the team at K-Tecmo designed one incredibly dope item. The Blade of Evil's Bane. That's a fucking badass name. Link's primary weapon is so iconic that it's in the freaking logo. Beginning as the humble goddess sword left for the chosen hero by Hylia in Skyward Sword, the flames that forged it serve as the second set of quest items, and it houses what would have been one of Link's better partner characters if it weren't for the fact that she pesters the player even more than Navi. In Ocarina of Time, he uses it to travel between past and future time periods. In the Decline timeline, it is recovered by the sages who hide it in the Lost Woods to be wielded once more in its debut entry, A Link to the Past. In the Child timeline, it remains in its pedestal as if never drawn, but the Temple of Time decays around it until Twilight Princess, when it cures Link of Xant's curse and enables him to switch between human and wolf forms at will. And in the Adult timeline, it is used to freeze Hyrule under both time and water, until recovered by the Hero of Winds. And Breath of the Wild's advanced weapon system overshadowed it, but it still had a role in the story and can only be obtained after getting 13 heart containers. Plus, the quest to get it is awesome. And the 3D Zelda games always had intricate swordplay since the beginning, with vertical and horizontal slashes, thrusting, the spin attack, the jump attack, and many other techniques. But what makes the Master Sword special is that on top of that are its many alternate uses and being the only thing that can seal and exterminate the darkness that so often plagues the Legend of Zelda. The Pokeball is the very symbol of Pokemon, like Mario's Mushroom or Zelda's Triforce. It is the one item critical to the entire game. Pokeballs are used to catch wild Pokemon. If a thrown ball contacts a Pokemon without being deflected, it opens, converts the Pokemon into some form of energy, pulls it inside, and closes. If it does escape, the ball is destroyed. But if it's caught, the invention of the Pokeball dates back 400 to 700 years ago in the Johto region. A local fruit called apricorns were carved hollow and fitted with a special device, and this old method still persists in a world where Pokeballs are mass-produced. Pokeballs also come in a wide assortment of functions. The Great Ball is more powerful than the Standard, and the Ultra Ball even more so. The Net Ball specializes in water and bug Pokemon, the Dusk Ball works on nocturnal Pokemon, and then there's the rare Master Ball with 100% catch rate. Exactly how Pokeballs manage to contain every Mon from the smallest Caterpie to the biggest Snorlax has been a subject of humorous debate since Gen 1. I often wonder if it's the same technology that Samus is using.
Logic!
The technology remains a mystery, but hey, I don't know how electricity works, but I know that it does work. But it is said that Pokeballs are designed for the Pokemon's comfort. And that's good, because otherwise I would feel really bad about catching them all.
I wonder what it's like inside those Pokeballs.
I wonder when you'll shut up and make my dinner.
The mushroom is the most iconic item in Mario, perhaps in all of gaming. However, it is the star that is the star. Dating back to the original, the bright, shining 5-point star with 2 black eyes that seem to smile without a mouth. Simple, bold, super. It is the versatility and status of the star that sets it higher than everything else. In the 2D games, they grant temporary invincibility. In Mario Kart, they briefly grant both invincibility and speed. In Mario Party, they determine the winner of the game. In the RPGs, they serve as the quest items. In the original Luigi's Mansion, it's one of Mario's missing possessions. And in all but 1.9 3D games, they function as the main collectathonable. In the Mushroom Kingdom, mushrooms are understandably common. Typical, normal,
A meal for peasants.
but the star is premium, platinum.
It's a meal for kings.
The mushroom is NBC, but the star is HBO. Bearing the subtitle of the greatest game of all time, this item has a lot to live up to. An ocarina is a Spanish wind instrument, and the baby blue, egg-shaped gold ring engraved with a Triforce adorned one passed down the Hyrulean royal family produces not only lovely lilting music, but powers that manipulate both time and space. When Zelda gives it to Link as she escapes Ganondorf, the Hero of Time uses it across both of his adventures, learning 20-odd melodies, each with a different function. One calls his horse Epona, one causes rainfall, one changes the time of day, one sends him back in time, some warp him places, some can put you to sleep, and some just make you want to dance. What all these melodies have in common is that they're all the many great songs of the series. It's just as amazing now as it was over 20 years ago to play actual game music with an actual in-game instrument. And as if this wasn't enough, what makes the Ocarina of Time so bloody dope is the fact that it's a full-fledged instrument, more or less. There are 5 button-mapped notes, and by holding other inputs, each can be sharpened, flattened, moved up and down a whole step, and even embellished with some vibrato. The end result is a full chromatic scale and a half from a low B to a high F. Ever since Link's Awakening, one of the many staples of the Zelda series has been magical, mechanical, musical instruments, and this baby set a standard that has yet to be raised. It's a fully functional musical instrument with a wide range of powers based on the game's renowned music that teaches Link, and those playing him, one of life's few endearing lessons. Music can heal, withstand time, and bring us together.
It's a cell phone.
In Grand Theft Auto 5, all 3 characters have their own smartphone. An iPhone for Michael, a Galaxy for Franklin, and a Windows for Trevor. Although wouldn't it make sense if he had a burner phone? It receives calls just like past GTA cell phones, but it can also make calls from an ever-growing list of contacts. Call characters to hang out, a taxi to pick you up, and even emergency services. Or just dial any old number and see what happens. Mostly nothing, but you can input cheat codes here.
But it also text messages.
You can also receive text messages, but you can't reply. But you can reply to emails, but the replies are automatic.
Write actual words with a phone.
There's a checklist of all the missions and extras you haven't done yet. You can quick save at any time and location, and a settings tab lets you change the background, the color scheme, ringtone, turn vibrate on or off, and of course, like everything else these days from a 3DS to a piece of fruit, it has a camera. Take pictures, change the borders, add filters, even enter portrait mode and take a fucking selfie. But the dopest part about the dopest item is this. It is absolutely amazing how dense of a fake internet Rockstar made. Whether from the homepage or the search engine, I just click away at a seemingly endless ocean of links, so entertaining that I don't even mind that the cursor flips me off every time. I just read and read and read from websites that give so much more insight into the game world. Just about everything in Los Santos has a website. You have your own social networking profile, an IMDb, find locations of businesses, check your bank balance, purchase cars and planes and boats, and have them delivered to your garage, and work the fucking stock market. This doesn't even include all the GTA Online stuff that I don't know about because I don't play online. There is an entire world at your character's fingertips, just like in our real-life cell phones. And that's what makes the phone from Grand Theft Auto 5 the dopest item of all time. I used a considerably broad definition of item, but the concept of items in games is broad in itself. What's your favorite video game item? The health drink? The shoddy? The frog suit? Hit up the comments, smash the like button, sub to the channel, and be very cautious when embracing the material world.
Have you noticed that their stuff is shit and your shit is stuff?